food. Ow.
Show the chow mein. Show how you're supposed to eat it, since Trillion is an uncivilized, uncultured swine who does not understand. Yeah, there
I
we
use
go.
chopsticks because I am an intellectual.
What
I
a
will never reach
god!
my
Look at
level of
this.
expertise. Yes, so watch,
You
watch.
see, Trillion, chow mein are like noodles,
Okay.
right? With broccoli and other vegetables sliced in the middle. And then what you do is, if you have a fork or chopsticks, you kind of roll them around the utensil.
Chopsticks is advanced technique. Pointing that out.
For noodles and rice, I'll give you that. It's advanced. I can pick up chicken and like beef just fine.
So what you're telling me,
Pick up
it's
chicks
just
with my chopsticks.
noodles, and you're calling me uncultured?
No, it's not just noodles, Trillion.
What does it have? Tell me the ingredients. Does it have soy? Does it have
Is
spices?
majbous? Wait, hold. Is majbous just rice?
No, it's rice cooked with chicken broth
I wanna
or meat broth or fish broth,
see.
depending, and then spiced up and then served with the meat that the broth came out of. It's an artistic statement on using everything of the animal.
Leave it to the Bedouins to do that. Okay. Um, that's actually a funny thing. Working in a Middle Eastern store, which we have a meat section,
Right?
your eyes are open to how pretty much literally everything in a sheep is edible. I tried everything there is to try. I tried sheep testicle this year. Uh, intestine. Actually, I love intestine. I've always had those. Sheep lung. You can eat lungs apparently. And if it wasn't illegal in this country, people would buy hooves to put in their soup.
People would buy what?
Hooves.
Hooves. The sheep's hooves. But it's
Oh,
illegal because it's unsanitary.
well, you know what else is unsanitary? The fact that we're apparently offline right now, according to some people.
No, we're supposed to be live. I mean, we had some connection problems, but
I just refreshed the page, the stream loads, but it's like it's 21 minutes.
what? It's live according to OBS. Hold on, let me check. Let me open YouTube. Have I mentioned that I hate
Uh,
you?
yeah, but some of us. So,
Why don't? No, we're live, Louis. What are you talking about?
are you sure? Are you positive about that?
I'm loading it up.
Yeah, but some of us. So,
Wait, yeah, it's
Why
not
don't?
moving.
No,
No, we're
we're
live, Louis. What are you talking about?
it's not. What's
Oh,
not?
our face is not showing. That's it. They can hear us though. I just heard my echo.
Are you sure? Are you positive about that?
I'm
Oh,
loading it up.
well, according to some people, it's offline.
Hold on.
Like they can't hear anything, or the stream is just over.
All right, we'll give it another shot, like this.
Yeah.
My echo.
Are you sure? Are you positive about that? But then
Yeah.
apparently, like it restarted and then it went offline again.
Yeah, I don't know what's
Waste.
happening.
Huh.
I'm confused now. Because
I think we need to have Darkrai Q8. Oh,
Loading it
by
up.
the way, subscribe to Darkrai Q8.
Subscribe
Like,
to Dark Like Kuwait. Okay, what's happening?
I think we need to have him as a permanent guest just for this.
no, I think it's just connection this time. There's no technical difficulties because we're showing.
All right, we're live again.
Hold on, maybe we should switch back to the Europe server. Maybe that helps. Okay, talking to the mic, Louis. Oh, for the love of. There
You
we
hear
go.
me? What?
Yeah,
Okay.
there we go. This is fun.
This is extremely fun.
Let me
Hi
open-
guys, we're back. I think.
I don't know. Are we?
I
Are
hope.
We, are we? Send us a talk in the comment section.
Well, let's just talk and see if we're and hope for the best.
Yeah, according to my phone,
Look
we're
at
alive.
look at this this face cam right here, this mouth cam. This is no, don't turn it off. The fans love this. They eat it.
Ugh.
This is that high quality content we talk about, folks, on this channel.
Oh yes. Oh yes. Subscribe to PewDiePie.
You're muted, by the way, Mel.
I don't. Do you know? Does he know he's muted?
I just told him. He has a muted icon.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, this is the best stream of the series. You don't even have to think of a title. You can just name it technical difficulties.
Yeah. I will definitely name it that. This time was too much, and
Hello, gamers.
yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you now.
Gamer
Yes,
game.
I was advertising my personal webcam show. If you want to get rid of these dweeps, you can message me. Hourly rates.
You can't get rid of
All
us.
right.
We're the heroes that everybody deserves but don't need.
You can get wait what?
I don't know. I don't know.
You can just for that they can get rid of you, Trillion. Yeah, keep me around though.
No. Speaking of heroes we don't deserve or whatever, the Joker stuff. Do enlighten us, Louis, because they did mention it in the comments, and you want to talk about it. Let's take a look. See.
Well, I do want to preface that I am planning on seeing the Joker movie starring Joaquin Phoenix this weekend.
Right.
So I'm not going to make any assumptions or judgments on the actual film itself. But everything, and I mean everything from every person, every trusted source that has seen it on my end, has said nothing but great things about it. Has said it's one of the best movies of the decade, one of the best movies ever. That it's a representation of beautiful. It's a beautiful representation of nihilism and what tragedy can do to a person. Everything that you would expect from a Joker, the Killing Joke type story adapted to film form. However, and again, this is not a knock on the film, the public reaction to the film and what came of it was one of the most astonishing things that I've ever seen for any medium ever, particularly a film. Simply put, what occurred was that some early critics saw the movie and they did what critics do best, right? It's not diverse enough, or it has some themes that people don't agree with. It's too dark. Oh, can you believe it? A Joker movie is dark. And the critics said things about it that people did not agree with. One insult in particular, or one criticism in particular, that it appeals to incels. Our incels. And I'm not gonna bore you with the details, but simply put, it basically escalated to the perception that incels were going to show up to the premiere of the Joker movie. Is that just all the broccoli? You left all the broccoli? I mean, I
What's so
understand.
much broccoli? Okay, this is more important than the Joker. What? I'm calling out. What they call it? It's
Yeah. Lag, right?
Garden Family Restaurant on Penn Highway. China Garden. 2 out of 10. I'm sorry. This was another episode of Yasha Food Reviews. You can go on.
Sponsored by Yelp, not by Audible.
Sponsored by Blue Apron. If you don't want
Not-
to eat Chinese food every night,
Not sponsored by Yelp, by the way. Not sponsored by Yelp. Pretty sure we have to say that now. What was I talking about?
Some Joker
The
crap.
Joker.
Holy shit, bro. I know it was a Joker, but the incels. So it got to the point where the media believed that incels were threatening to show up to the premiere of the movie armed and ready to essentially create another mass shooting. And it got to the point where agents undercover at the premiere to make sure nothing went down. And so it's the usual, the Dave Chappelle, Bill Burr situation. It's if you check on Rotten Tomatoes, critics hated the movie, but the audience loves it. And part of the reason why that's believed to be such a discrepancy is because, again, the media lied about the film, threw out a bunch of insults, tried to demean the film before it even came out, and slandered a lot about the film, including incels, even though they had nothing to do with the film. But this belief that it appealed to incels and that incels were going to thrive off of the movie and were going to use it as a calling for them to do whatever incels do. I wasn't aware that they ever left their basement, but that's fine. So the whole movie has become a cultural phenomenon for the wrong reasons, which seems to be a trend nowadays. It's like a movie doesn't get big because of its quality anymore. It gets big because of the hysteria and the drama surrounding it.
So what you're telling me is, they made a Joker movie, and people got angry at it because it's a Joker movie. Is that an accurate assessment?
You know what's hilarious is you lagged that entire thing, and you didn't pop up again until you said, "Is it safe to assume that?" And I didn't know what you said.
Well, I said they made a Joker movie, and the media got angry because they made a Joker movie.
Yeah, basically, like it.
I hope Grammarly can sponsor us so we can get better network.
Yeah, can Grammarly fix that? I doubt it.
Can Grammarly fix our money issues?
Well, if they can't fix lag, why are they there? They can't fix grammar either.
Ooh, roast them.
Roasted. I'm about to end this whole man's career. No, but the movie, look, if you make a Joker movie and you take it seriously, as in you make a Joker movie that is just that, it's a Joker movie, there's no Batman involved, it just has to do with the development of the Joker, how he came to be. It has to be a dark movie. Like the Joker's origin story is one of the darkest in comics. It's one of the most depressing, it's one of the most eye-opening, and I think, according to the people, the audience scores, this is a movie that truly nails it and is very, very good to the source material. The media dislikes it because they think that it gives a rise. Actually, I think why the media in particular hates it is because it channels a certain type of person that they think is very prevalent in today's society, which would be the incel community. And for that reason, they think that the movie is specifically calling to incels to become jokers in a sense, or to take the movie as inspiration for something.
The human beings shows these types of people in a light so as to make the audience and the masses sympathize with it.
Who would have thought? Who would have thought that people are relatable?
Oh, so if I make a Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, I'm encouraging people to cut stupid teenagers? Is this the argument?
You see how we still haven't grown past this. Yeah.
Okay.
But incels are a big deal because you've
No, they're not.
here in the States.
No, they're
Well,
not.
they're a big deal. They're a big deal here in the States because one of the biggest and most notorious mass shootings here was caused by a guy that couldn't get laid. You know, the Elliot Rodgers situation.
Well,
It wasn't that big. It's just famous because of one YouTuber.
I know it's famous because it's a YouTube sensation and you know this and that, and but like
He killed
ever
like
since
two
then,
people, right?
incels, I don't know more people than he killed. I know that, but ever since
Three if you
then,
count
that has
himself.
been the talking point. Like
No,
everybody
no,
who talks about incels, they bring up Elliot Rodger.
no. Here's the thing. Here's why this is all stupid. The only reason people shoot up schools is because one, people don't shoot back, and two, everybody talks about it. If you're a loser and you want some fame and some power, you go shoot up a school. And if you can't get laid, well, that's an extra, right? That's an extra frustration on your masculinity or whatever. So of course you're gonna do it. It's not the Joker movie that will do it. This is dumb. This is ridiculous. This is. Are you gonna take everything we like? Is this what's gonna happen? Like eventually everything will be like a one big lesbian gay scene on the screen, and we're supposed to like it. This is what media is gonna turn to, or otherwise there won't be, or there will be controversy. You know, if somebody shows blood in the next 10 years, is this gonna be a problem? What the fuck? This is ridiculous. This is.
Well, what bothers me about this situation in particular is you look at incels, and for all intents and purposes, that people joke for all the slander that they get and all, you know, right? Like the Reddit posts and everything. If I to treat this as a serious predicament, that there are people that feel this way, that it's not even that they can get laid, it's that they feel so detached from society and from themselves that they don't know how to interact in the real world. Like, that's beyond being an incel, that's beyond being a loser. And if there are people who genuinely feel this way, why the fuck are we separating them even more? Why are we pushing them aside? Why are we laughing even harder? This movie might not be a calling to them. It might be a saving for them.
Well,
You
yeah,
know,
but
silently, right? They watch it and they quietly feel like they're understand, right? They're being understood. But the media, they have a sensationalizing problem, and they're always looking for the next big story for that. And I'm surprised that the Joker in particular was the target this time, because the media is all about, you know, we support and we bring up those that are marginalized, except when I guess it like, why incels? Why, like, they are such a small minority, and they're people that need help. Like, if this is the movie for them, then why
not only that,
why try to take that from them?
not only that, you can learn a lot from seeing how another like group thinks, if you will. So, you know, you watch a movie about black suburban neighborhoods that is accurate and not about the hood, and you're like, huh, so that's how they're living, right? That's awful. I should help, or I should at least know what's happening. On you know, you watch maybe a you know, like, what's its name, Narcos, which is like a show on Netflix about what's his name, I
Pablo
forget.
Escobar, right?
Yeah, Escobar, and you see what's happening in like Colombia, and you're like, holy shit, it's awful in Colombia. And so maybe when you see a Colombian person, you can relate. But if Narcos was on big TV, the way it was presented, it would be like butchered. It would be just like. Let me give you a better example. You know how everybody is like, everybody hates the Nazis, right? Everybody despises the Nazis and thinks they're the worst thing since, like, I don't know, since the Black Plague, right? But they did an experiment, right? A while back. I don't know when, but basically to see how willing people are to follow evil regimes, right? And so they bring people in for an experiment. They tell them it's an experiment, and then they put them in a room with a button and a speaker and a mic, right? And they tell you.
Oh, is this the shock experiment?
Yep, the shock experiment. So you ask a question. If they answer it wrong, you shock them, and the longer it takes, or if they get it wrong too many times, the shock increases, and then you can hear them like just suffer, which is fake suffering, but you don't know that as the person doing the shocking. And the authority figure tells you, do it every time. And people did it. Even though the voltage reached deadly levels and the other person was pleading for mercy in the other room, people still felt like because there's an authority figure that's supposed to know what's happening, they kept pressing the button because the authority figure knows best. And what that meant basically was probably 80% of the German population were under that spell. So they didn't know what to do. Do they follow the authority? Do they revolt? They don't know. And there wasn't internet back then. So people couldn't band together and scream. So when you look at this experiment, and if, say, somebody turned that experiment into a movie of basically Nazi Germany from the perspective of regular German people during that time, and you'd see all of that shit happening, what would happen? Everybody would freak the fuck out. You're a Nazi sympathizer, you're a neo-Nazi, you're trying to rile up the Nazi population that doesn't exist anymore. Germany itself will start calling you out and banning your movie in their theaters. And all you did was trying to shed light on maybe the German, like there's a percentage of Germans that are to blame for this, but we shouldn't call regular Germans Nazis. That's all what he wanted to say.
Like maybe you want to imply a message that people aren't bad at their core.
Yep.
Maybe it's circumstance that drives them to those means. And I haven't even seen the Joker movie, and I can already tell from the perception and from the trailers and from actually reading the Joker origin story in the past, I know that that's what drives him to it. Like there's a famous saying in the origin story, which I'm praying is in the movie, where the Joker says, all you need to turn insane is one bad day.
Yeah.
Yep. And I think people underestimate the power of that line and how much it truly holds behind the scenes. There are people that are driven to mass extremes, whether it be suicide, whether it be murder, whether it be pills, whether it be overeating. Like there's so many vices out there that people turn to, and they're not always the healthiest. And a lot of them spring from addiction, and a lot of them are what we hear about in the news the very next day after the tragedy happened, right? And that's all it was. It led up to a lot. It was building up over the years, but the tipping point was that last bad day, and no one was there to help.
Funny enough, I'm watching a TV show. I'm not particularly enjoying it, but I'm watching it because it was recommended, and I'm gonna trash the person who recommended it to me. And it's called Mindhunters on Netflix, and I assume it's what it's supposed to be is basically analyzing the serial killers and reaching the point where they became known as serial killers and what drove them to that thing. So I'm watching it, and they all less this theme you just spoke of, which is, life fucked them over, and then they had that one bad day that made them snap and then do whatever they did and become serial killers and all that crap. And that point was not lost on me during watching the series. I think I'm 9 episodes in, going to the 10th right now of season 1, and I'm looking at it, and all I can think of is we as a culture already know this, but we're doing literally nothing to stop it. Instead, we're pushing towards the opposite direction. So instead of telling people, for the love of God, start hugging your kids, and for the love of God, girls who are 16, hug your boyfriends, don't manipulate them. Guys who are 16, don't fuck up your girlfriends. Instead of saying that and educating the people and telling them how, to treat each other better because we don't want serial killers, instead of that, we're alienating those people further and further, putting a standard for humanity that does not exist and is impossible to attain, and basically letting people shoot, taking away most people's guns so they can't defend themselves. It's all an elaborate plot, okay? To make more serial killers. That's what the feminazi movement's about. To make more serial killers.
Oh, I did not know you were gonna go that route. I thought you were gonna go with the
Okay,
conspiracy.
that went down.
There is a conspiracy. There is a theory. There is a theory that like people, the
Went
government is
real quick.
creating conspiracy theory.
Again, what?
Whatever the hell he's.
Whatever happened to
Yeah.
Shane Dawson? I used to watch him. when I
How
was a
can
kid.
you? How can you make people say, "I wish he's back doing conspiracy theories"?
Is that what he's doing now? Conspiracy theory?
No, he's
videos?
not. He's like making another docu-series about some YouTuber in the beauty industry. It's like his third in a row.
Last I heard of him, didn't he come out as like bisexual?
Ugh.
That's like 3 years ago or something.
The bees.
I don't-
Oh.
He used to be one of the best YouTubers back when YouTube was good, but nah, he's fallen off the map for me. Him and like a lot of the OG YouTubers, Niga Higa, him, Samash, right? All good once upon a time.
Niga Higa was never good.
Niga Higa was the best. Shut the fuck up.
No.
Go fuck yourself. What?
We're on 3 completely
You
different realms, okay? He says he was never good. The other says he was good but not anymore. I think he's still fine. He's not that bad. Out of all the best.
I would put it past and checked in on him in a long time, and I don't know what he's
I
doing.
never liked
So
him.
that's
Dude, the top 10 YouTubers of 2010 or whatever, I despised them all. Ray William Johnson,
You didn't-
Higa, Smosh, all of these.
Ray William Johnson, bro.
Ray William Johnson.
What happened to that dweeb?
I have
Did
no
you see
idea.
his music? I love that.
But dude, as much as I dislike
Okay.
the PewDiePie era, I think it was a positive change.
Remember Equals
It's
3,
time
the show?
for- It's time for cover by me. I will cover the song "Doing My."
Yes.
Okay, that was a cover of "Doing My."
The lag just made that so much better.
Honestly, there's so much lag. I don't know what's registering and what's not to the stream.
Bro, Ray William Johnson, Justine. Oh my god. Oh, the OG YouTubers is all coming back to me.
Dude,
Good times.
Dude, I immensely dislike the top 10 of 2000 whatever.
Because you're uncultured swine. We've
No,
established
they were
this.
trash. They were trash.
No, they're. Bro, OG YouTube like was actually it wasn't it wasn't the best, but it was it was good for YouTube. I think that's what you're overlooking. You're comparing them to the standards of now.
No,
PewDiePie
I'm not.
is reviewing memes like that is on a level that Shane Dawson, Niga Higa could not even dream of achieving at that point. They were good for their time.
No, I'm not against OG YouTube. I'm just saying I dislike the top 10 for the longest time. I respect them being there. Good job. I hope you thrive. But as far as I'm concerned, your content was shit.
Kev Jumba, remember the guy who made videos with his grandpa?
Oh, that guy.
Don't tell me he died. Don't tell me his grandpa died.
Probably.
He's
I don't
dead.
know.
I don't think he's died. The
They
dude
got bored. That's
got
what
hit
happened.
by a car. and
I need to
stopped
check
making
these,
videos.
man. I need to check in on this. Let's start with the big one, Niga Higa. How to be a ninja? Oh, that's still the first thing that comes up, man. Good times.
Good times.
Oh, he's doing podcasts now.
Yeah,
like-
easy mode.
Everyone and their mothers are doing podcasts.
Yeah.
Like even some
how-
random fucking dweebs
Dude,
in 3 different countries are doing podcasts. Like
you
what the
don't
hell?
you don't understand the treasure that is podcasts for people who are gonna do research 20 years from now about this era, because you can literally know about everybody's perspectives. It's gonna be a nightmare to go through, but just is Joe Rogan past his 1,000th podcast?
Oh, he passed them a long time ago.
Yeah, like it reached a point where there's so much content that no one person can ever go through them ever again. And Hassan, you asked in the comment section, what are the jobs that will survive automation? Well, anthropology and historiography and sociology will certainly thrive because 20 years from now there'll be so much content you're going to need entire teams to dissect a book on a
You're gonna
certain
need
topic.
entire schools. What are you
Yeah.
talking about?
Like,
You are gonna get it. I'm gonna get a degree in Joe Roganology. Yes,
There's
it's a
already a
subfield
degree in
of.
memology. That's coming.
yeah, like if you remember Abby, he's like he wants his anthropology paper, if he ever continues to a master's and a PhD, to be on meme culture. And
Dude, Ray William Johnson's his name is not even Ray William Johnson on YouTube anymore. It's just Ray. Like everybody just shortens their name now. That's what time has done for them.
yeah,
I think everyone is trying to become a musician too. It's either podcast or music.
I've always wanted to be a musician, and this platform allows me to chase my dream. Only one guy did it successfully. That fucking filthy Frank cunt, Joji.
actually, now that you're mentioning music, I do want to make like a small rant for musicians. Why the fuck are you doing fucking Call of Duty song? I don't know, Halo song, Apex song, and
Oh, all these nerds who make like fucking like games and TV show songs.
instead of
Some of them are good.
dude, they're good, they're great, but you know what happens when they post their original music? Nobody watches it. They just want to watch the like,
Yes.
and their
Oh my
creativity is
God.
dead. Their creativity is basically making video game music abridged or remixed or reinterpreted every single time, and that's them. That, to the end of days, that's them. They fucked up. They destroyed their creativity by making the main thing that grows their channel fucking parody songs. You disgrace.
Dude.
You poor people.
Do, do you know a YouTuber called Nate Wants to Battle?
Nope.
Have you
Yeah,
heard of that name?
he
Dude
makes,
used
like,
to make good like Pokemon content, like gaming video. Sometime he realized he wants to make music. He did the mistake of doing a parody of whatever was relevant at the time. Five Nights at Freddy's. He still to this day makes Five Nights at Freddy's songs.
he comes out with some original content, but most of the stuff is like
Yeah, nobody cares.
like anime covers, right? English anime covers.
So it hurts as a fellow creative to see somebody shooting himself in the foot so much, because nobody will care about your original content if your main content is making fan fictions about your favorite show. Everybody who jumped in wants the fanfic. He doesn't want your fucking original idea.
Well, isn't it sad though? Because a lot of these people start out making their own original music, and then as a joke,
Yeah.
right? And we don't even have to look that far. Look at King Ace. He was posting his original music, and it's good. He posted a SpongeBob parody song. It was a new channel. It was a relatively new channel that he was trying to grow, and that song got like thousands of views off the jump. Because that's something people are familiar with already. But it happens so often. Like people are posting their own original content, and they're not getting as much as what they want. And they, as a joke, it's always as a joke. They post whatever's hot or whatever they're enticed in at the moment, and they post that, they make a song about that, and that gets big, and then everybody expects that now.
Oh, not only
What
that,
you can't
you make
you
it.
can't let it be everything. Like you can't keep following it up. If
Yep.
you make like a famous video game song, you have to, I would argue, you have to put an annotation at the end for like your own original music. And then you make
Yes.
one video game song every 10 videos or something.
Yeah.
You keep it alive, but you don't
Yes.
make it your
Yeah.
identity.
You squeeze, you bring people in to see your abilities and hope that they click on your original content. You don't make it your gimmick because that cannot escape from. And the second you stop and make your own original music, everybody unsubscribes and complains.
I disagree. I'd recommend, if you do not want to be famous for something, just outright don't do it. Like,
No,
you guys made a very dangerous move. It's not dangerous as much as it is something that your average YouTuber wouldn't do, which is you got famous, relatively speaking, talking about critiquing anime, and that gave you a fan base. But you didn't like that. You wanted to move on to other topics and make it its own thing. And there's a massive difference in viewership between the anime law and the soul grinder. But this is a move that you needed to do. And many people wouldn't be able to do that move because they're afraid, oh, now I get only 100 views. I'd rather just keep talking about anime. You know, JoJo season 8? I like that show.
I
I'm convinced most people who review anime don't even, they just like they read the reviews of people who and they read the reviews on Reddit or the comment sections. They read them because I'm
You're,
convinced most people.
yeah,
you
yeah.
are doubting Weebles. That's a big bad move.
I mean, there's some nerds that obviously still watch it, but I'm like, like the people that come out with a review, and this happens for everything, by the way. It's not just anime; it's the movies, games. Like the people that come out with reviews the hour after something gets posted. There's no way you played through a 12-hour game in 1 hour, right? And there's no reason you should be posting a review of the early access that you got for people that haven't played it yet. Like I've seen
Yeah, but
reviews,
see,
spoiler.
the earliest reviews get the most clicks.
Well, yeah.
Simply put.
Yes, but I guess don't make it spoiler heavy. I've seen spoiler heavy reviews that come out hours after something comes out, and people sit through them and they watch it, and that's their own fault. But why are
If
you
it's not
watching?
spoiler heavy, how will you know that they actually experienced the whole thing?
You see my dilemma here, Ma.
Yeah.
You see why I'm struggling here. This is hard for me.
And the worst part is they have to do it because, again, as I mentioned last stream, these YouTubers, these Twitch streamers that get forced into their gimmick will lose money if they don't do their gimmick, and most of them are dumb, and therefore they make YouTube their livelihood full time. Never do that because you'll never get to do what you want on this platform unless you're PewDiePie or like one guy who, you know, if he shits on a plate, people will watch. Most YouTubers aren't that. Most YouTubers have to like suck the gimmick out of their system, right? Just work the shaft of the gimmick and hope it splurts out money. Don't do it.
Work the shaft.
Don't do that. Never become a full-time YouTuber. It's a disaster for your creativity, for your ability to make what you want, for all that shit. Do it slow. You know, people take years to make books, take years to make bloody videos. Who gives a shit? You know, there are channels who post once every 3 months and they have 3 million subscribers. Because their content is so good, people subscribe anyway. Be that guy. Don't be the fucking, you know, one video a day or 3 videos a week or one video every day. Like, you don't need to. Just do it and treat it. You know, what did PewDiePie say? Like, I liked doing YouTube when I had 10 viewers or 10 subscribers the same way I did when I had 10 million. It doesn't matter. I still enjoy it. Have that mentality. Don't be an idiot. For the love of God, don't be that one of those Twitch streamers. What did they do to Dello recently? Did they him
It's
again?
it's Dellar,
Yeah, that bitch.
and there's a whole story with this. So he got permanently banned. I guess we'll start with the ending here. He got permanently banned for self-harm
For
on stream.
self-harm. What did he do?
We're gonna talk about this. So a couple months back, he had the controversy where he told a female player on stream to go cook him a sandwich, right?
Yep.
And that got banned momentarily, and it got revoked. They're suspended. Planning on getting his sub button back October 1st, and he was waiting. There was a countdown. Fans were excited, and he went through all the hurdles. He listened to Twitch. He spoke with their personnel. He had connections. He did everything he could. He apologized, made a public statement. He had deleted all the controversial videos that might seem like a problem. He did everything they wanted. And on October 1st rolls around, and he's waiting for his sub button. And as he's waiting for the email to inform him what he needs to do in order to get his sub button back, he instead gets an email live on stream that reads he has been permanently banned from Twitch, and his channel gets taken down on the spot, literally mid-stream. And everyone knows why. Everyone knows exactly, or rather, nobody knows why, but everyone knows why his channel goes down. And then a couple minutes pass, and everyone's just sitting there wondering what happened. And I was watching this stream, and so people go to Twitter, and they see a suicide note, basically.
Where?
On Twitter, I think he deleted it now, but he posted like an updated letter on Twitter, or a link to where a longer text to where he's talking about how he went to the hospital. He was hospitalized for a few days with no internet, no connection, no nothing. He got help, and he's going to be okay. But he got permanently banned from Twitch because of self-harm. If you know Dellar, you know that he has a rage problem. He's known for his rage compilations, and he breaks keyboards over his head. Twitch banned him for breaking a keyboard or multiple keyboards over his head, something that he's done thousands of times. And they banned him the day he was supposed to get his sub button back. And there is a theory that Twitch has been trying to fuck him over for so long that this was just the icing on the cake. That we could have suspended him earlier, we could have told him about it, we could have warned him, but no, the day where he's excited, and he's been depressed for a long time, so the day that he's finally excited and happy, we're gonna shut him down.
Wait.
For something that he received no warning about.
Wait, and you wonder why people shoot up schools?
And you wonder why Twitch is on the decline.
No,
But I guess
no.
that's a more extreme way to put it.
No, dude, if this happened, if, say, a boyfriend and a girlfriend did that, male or female, let's be diverse, right? The other person would have... Dude, this happens, like, on everyday basis, on such a minuscule level, right? And
Stop. Didn't say girlfriend and girlfriend. Hold on. Stop, man.
This is you in season 1, bro. This is you, Trillion. I don't want you laughing too hard.
No. This type of crap is what pushes people to depression, to suicide, to shooting up schools, to feeling they're worthless. And we're lucky that his response was a suicide note instead of a fucking to the head, and that's it. Right? We're lucky he had the chance to vent
Remember
and then
Etika,
go.
guys?
What?
Remember that? That was good.
We can. There's so much lag on your end, man. There's so much lag. We can't hear you.
Remember Etika? That was a good time.
Oh, yeah.
No, no.
But I don't think I don't think any platform fucked him over. I don't think that any platform made an effort to make his life a living hell. Like, imagine having your hopes up. This is your livelihood,
Yeah.
right? You're gonna get sub button back, like how people support you. And then the day you're supposed to get it back, somebody just takes it away. Oh yeah, and your career, by the way, that's getting taken away too
Dude.
by the platform that you sucked the dick of. Like they did him so dirty.
Yeah, exactly. He did everything, right? He's like, I just want to be back. I just want to be back. I want to be back doing my thing. And then they took him down at his highest, turned it to his lowest. Why? Why would anybody do that if they didn't have spite and hate and evil in their heart? So that's what Twitch looks like right now. To me,
I
Twitch
really
looks like
want to see
somebody who
Twitch
just-
fail.
Well, they're gonna if they keep pulling shit like that.
I really want, man. But we need a replacement. Like, this is the problem. They're pretty much monopolized
No, they didn't. No, they didn't. Mixer is going
the
up.
entire.
Mixer is going up. There are still alternative streaming options. They're not YouTube. They didn't have 20 years to build their empire. Okay? There are alternatives, and they do make money. Go to Mixer. Mixer is now doing better. Go
Well,
to
this is the
Beeline.
next chapter.
Oh,
in his-
thanks to Ninja. Thank you,
Well,
Ninja.
see, this is the next order of business. He stated in the note, in the letter, that he doesn't know what's coming next. He appealed the ban to Twitch, but he's most likely not going back to Twitch because it's a permabanned. And so there's a lot of suggestions for where he's willing to go. If I'm Mixer or DLive, but mainly Mixer because I think they're the closer competitor at the moment. You already have a Ninja.
Yeah.
Offer
You
Dellar
saw it.
something.
Yeah,
Like
they-
two of the biggest streamers in the world coming from Twitch to your platform. The reason I don't think it'll be Mixer, the reason I think it'll be YouTube is because he already has connections in YouTube that have offered to help him set up a stream.
I don't care
So-
what it is. Just don't let it be Twitch, because YouTube, when they do crap, when they do stupid stuff, it's because they're stupid. What's her name? It's just
We'll never figure this out. Susan, just
yeah, Susan, right?
good old Susan.
Susan is just dumb, weak-willed, and frankly a woman.
Okay. Hold on.
You're about to get banned harder than Dellar, bro.
Don't give a shit.
Canada about to ban me. Hold on a second.
Hold on, I have to leave this call for a second to show my outrage.
I need to declare this to the immigration embassy. One second.
There we go. I did my part, guys. I did not agree. I backed out for a second. I needed to catch my breath a little bit.
I think this man is disgusting, and yeah, go on.
There is no place for this in 2019, you racist, sexist pig.
Oh, hold on. Let me become an incel.
Yeah. When's the next Joker screening? You'll fit right in.
No, but the point is the same. YouTube does stuff because they're stupid and they're in an era where that does not pay, right? Twitch, that was malicious. What they did was malicious. To me, it seems like a statement. If you do not cower beneath us and follow our every move and kiss our feet, Stalin-esque, very Stalin-esque, we will destroy you. That's what that message seemed like. You don't mess with us, motherfucker. We don't care how big you are. That's how it sounded to me. Instead of being, oh, we want to help you, it's more like we're in power, we're in control, we have everything, fuck you. Well, you don't have all the power, you're not in control, and fuck you.
And the reason why this is going to be a big problem for Twitch, it already is, it's already spreading, is because this was trending on Twitter. This was a big deal. A lot of people saw it. And there was I can't remember his name, but there was a verified psychologist who reached out to Dellar and asked him if he wanted to talk. This is going beyond the
Yeah,
spectrum of gaming.
beyond
It's a big
entertainment.
deal,
Yeah.
and yeah, and like you I don't like to directly associate Twitch with this, but you sent somebody to the hospital. I'm gonna say it. You sent somebody to the hospital who, thank God that he went to them before he decided to do anything.
Yeah, hold on. Do you think do you think Twitch did that? And I don't. Let's not go for full Twitch. Let's say a certain amount of employees who happen to have vaginas, and those vaginas happen to be on their period, decided one day when they heard the "go to your kitchen" joke, that they need to kill Dellar. Do you think?
Oh, there's no doubt in my mind that this was a ploy to get him to his lowest point. Maybe not kill him, but definitely to get him so demoralized that he wouldn't come to the platform.
Is it because he made like the go get a sandwich thing, and somebody in power on Twitch who happened to be female or male feminist, which is technically female,
Even worse.
yeah, saw that and they're like, we're gonna make him pay so nobody does that ever again. You think it's that type of malicious? The burn your car and egg your house, but on a way bigger spectrum.
I'll say yes. I'll say yes. I'll actually go that far. I like to think that I'm pretty good at reading these sort of things. I like to think that it was one of those situations where someone kept it in the back of their head, just noodling around in there, and then they knew when he was gonna get a sub button back, and then a superior came and she said, "You know what? He's actually been worse. You know, let's make it sound like we have completely reviewed everything that he's ever done, his entire channel, and we've decided that for the sake of our platform, we're gonna take him off." And it was, I do believe it was something like that.
Well, frankly, this is evil. This is not fun, you know? We trash, we make fun of women, we make fun of men, we make fun of Latinos, but it's never in ill will. We like the way we do things, and we would like to have the right to keep on doing it.
No,
That
you like making fun of things.
Yeah,
Like it's what's wrong with making fun of things,
yeah.
right? If no one's getting hurt and no one cares.
Dude, even if people get hurt, let's say we make fun of autistic people and somebody in the fucking chat happens to have a kid who's autistic or is autistic and is dealing with it. In my experience, blind people laugh at blind jokes. They love that shit, right? It's only when somebody else who knows somebody who is that gets emotionally attacked and suddenly tries to defend the autistic person, even though the autistic person doesn't give a rat's ass about the joke.
You know, we talk a lot about cultural appropriation. How about outrage appropriation? How about the people that get outraged on somebody else's behalf,
Yeah, what the fuck?
which is a common occurrence nowadays? It's always these. Tosh said this. Yes, people. It lets them know that they're human. It makes them feel that way,
Yeah,
right? Because everybody gets teased.
dude, our entire country was built on satire. Okay, we don't have thick skin, but we were built on satire. We made fun of everything, dude. We got invaded, and 4 years later, we made satire about the invasion on our theaters. It's one of the classics of like Kuwaiti theater, and everybody loves it to this day. And it made fun of things that people would consider sensitive today, and nobody cared.
What's
People
it
loved
called?
it. What?
What is it called?
Saif al Arab, and there are different variations of it, but
Okay.
like they made multiple theaters and multiple like depictions of Saddam, and he was still alive back then, and they still made it, and it was beautiful, right? Satire, in the end. And people make jokes all the time. Sometimes it hits, it hits the wrong foot. That's fine. We move on, right? That's why the too soon was created. The statement too soon was created, right? You throw a joke, nobody laughs too soon, and then people laugh. And that'll be that. What Twitch did, that is not this. This is just somebody feeling horrible and trying to make somebody else pay for it. And my heart goes out to Dellar. Sorry for mispronouncing your name. I didn't know it was this bad. I wish you a future wherever you end up being. And Twitch, we're gonna
come to YouTube.
No.
Right, come to YouTube, man. It's a fun time here. Right,
Yeah.
you have connections here that are willing to help you. Because, and make no mistake, there are other platforms that are very aware of this situation. And as cynical as it may seem, from a business standpoint, you would definitely want to hop on this opportunity as soon as possible. This is one of the biggest video game streamers in the world, who's high ranked in every single game that he plays, and you could be that helping hand. You could offer him a mixer. You could offer him a contract. I don't think YouTube does individual contracts, but they could definitely help him set up a stream. He has options. I think that he started on Twitch. He was one of the originals on Twitch. So I think he's too attached to it, but there comes a point where
enough is enough.
You can be married. Yeah. You can be married for 20 years. And then one day your wife comes up to you and says she doesn't love you anymore.
It takes one bad day, right?
It takes one bad day, but you don't have to do everything that bad day implies. Like, there is a time to turn around, and you got to look for something else.
We gotta remember.
Life goes on, man.
I gotta remember, and I again mentioned this last stream, and I'm gonna mention it again because it's an important point. As a content maker, as a content provider, you're supposed to have all the chips. You have all the power. And let that be a message to whoever who can hear this. Never apologize. If a service treats you badly, go to another one. Go to the service that treats you best. Have alternative sources of income so you don't have to follow anybody, and you follow what's right for you and the people who enjoy your content. And for the love of God, never bow down to restrictions. Never. With a reason. Because Dellar is a classic case. This has happened before. This has happened again and again and again. And he apologized. He did everything. He deleted everything, and they still trashed him. Never put yourself in that situation. If they treat you badly, bail. Keep your dignity. Keep your honor. At least go out on your own terms. So when you're cooking that burger because you don't have a job, because all your life was Twitch, at least you can know you chose this and it wasn't forced upon you. There's no shame in flipping burgers if that meant keeping your dignity. All right? There is no shame in that. And you don't have to go down that far. People like you, as if you're Dellar. You don't have to go that far. You can start making meme reviews and people will still watch your shit. You can open up a Patreon and people will sympathize and subscribe to you.
No, I'll give you, Patreons, that was my next suggestion. If he decides to go the YouTube route, I'd like to remind him that you don't have to make, I know that he's streaming is his thing, so he'll probably want to do that, but if you decide to go the YouTube route, you could make videos on how to improve. Do you know how many people watch him to get better, like to get tips and tricks? His aim is unreal on first-person shooters. His League of Legends account it's next level. Like, the way he plays games, there's a reason he's ranked 1 on so many games in the world. Like, people look up to his gameplay. And all he needs to do, he has the mic, he has the equipment, script it out, grab your gameplay, and break it down. Do you know how successful those type of videos are right now? I argue that's the next big thing coming.
Yeah.
It was already a thing in the past, but it's growing now, especially with games like Fortnite out. It's like people want to know how to get better at things.
Yep. It's one of the big things. Yeah.
if a great player who people look up to and already has a name established for himself makes tutorial videos. How about that?
Dude,
Tutorial or tips and tricks videos, dude.
dude, you know what he can do?
That's the shiz.
You want a real source of money? Private tutoring. On Patreon. $60 patrons can get 1 hour fucking private tutoring session with me.
I'll be your coach, yeah.
Yeah, I'll mold my fucking play style to fit yours and make you better at the game. People will pay top dollar for that shit. You can make that into a business model. Easy. Personal trainers make gold to force people to lose weight. One of the foolproof activities that you can do. You know, shove a salad in your mouth and go for a walk. Yet people still hire personal trainers for it, and they make gold. Dude, I remember my brother isn't a fitness coach, but he's very in shape. He's alarmingly in shape, right? So like some people made him some very generous offers to become their personal trainer. He refused them because that's not his thing. But he was like, I can make more money out of personal training than I can ever make out of my engineering career.
Really?
Yep.
I mean, it's an engineering career in Kuwait. I know some people who just sit around doing nothing for 6 hours and
Yeah,
get paid 1,000.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, I know someone in particular
Yeah,
who does that.
That's me. But I need to emphasize. For example, we have teachers. Teachers get paid very well here in our country. They're very well respected and well paid.
In which schools? Certain
Governments.
private schools, because private schools they're fucking
Fuck the
starving.
privates. Fuck the privates. We're talking about regular schools. But guess what? Most teachers, a lot of teachers I know, opt to go for private tutoring now. Because coaching, which is what they call it, coaching makes them so much money that the regular teaching profession is nothing. Nothing. You get paid. Let me do some math. Let me turn this to dollars. Okay?
Canadian dollars, please.
Fuck you and your Canadian dollar. Imagine being paid
Just multiply by 4. It's the easy one.
$90 an hour. Imagine being paid $90 an hour, teaching somebody something you already know, and doing that throughout the day, because most people who do that love teaching. So they do that throughout the day. So morning and afternoon, 5 days a week, sometimes 7 days a week. Imagine the
Dude,
benefit.
even as a part-time, it's gold.
Gold, literal gold, right? They make so much money from it. So coaching is a very viable tactic to get money while still doing the thing you like. I.e., there are ways to keep your power and to keep your ability to enjoy your content without needing to bow down to any monetary overlord. You can do that shit. Easy.
I was Joker.
Oh yeah, it was
There was a big lag on my end,
Yeah.
but I think I got your point.
Yes.
Basically, Twitch sucks. Dellar, you're gonna be all right.
And people
And,
don't repeat the mistakes that Dellar did.
Yes.
And by mistake,
What's next?
By mistake, I don't mean telling women to go back to the kitchen. The rest of the stuff, being sorry for it.
Yeah, tell every woman you see to go back to the dude. The things that are said while playing games online, I'm surprised Twitch actually has policies against them. Like, really? Is that not an essential part of gaming? Like, people say things. I don't know. Let's get away from that. Like, we already said what we need to say about them.
This is what I appreciate. This is not my.
Yeah. Yep.
But
I concur.
Yes. Echo. Let's.
This is rough.
I laugh because I remember. I remember being
What the
midpoint.
fuck? Hello?
Hi.
Hello? ليش الخازم? Just tell me you can't hear me.
Uh,
Do you have any more broccoli?
I wish.
so okay, let's move on. Let's move on. So there is a new night show apparently on YouTube.
Are you talking about the Lilly Singh?
Yeah. What is that about?
Oh, so I believe it was NBC decided that it's not a night show on YouTube. It's a night show on TV. It's an actual night talk show.
Okay.
And Lilly Singh, who is a big YouTuber, or used to be, I think she's making the transition to TV now, to focus on this show full time. She has decided to invade. He puts it in late night, and the only woman of color on late night TV. And believe me, if you forget, she will remind you of that because that's basically her show. Her jokes get old very quick because they're not really jokes. They're more appeals to hey, look at me. I'm a woman of color in a white male industry. And people are afraid of what this is going to do for an already failing industry because people like the late night shows are so cringe to begin with, but now people are afraid, oh look, if she creates an outlet for this, there's going to be more people of color making the same jokes, and it's just going to be what late night is now but in reverse.
Okay.
Right, like it's going to be all the late night hosts already make the same jokes, now we're going to do that but with people of color.
Okay, let me ask the obvious, not really, but the obvious question. Late have writer teams, plural, right? And like, can you hear me?
I nodded. Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Late night shows. Yes, plural.
They have writers, right? Writer teams. And we already mentioned that mangakas aren't writers. Well, guess what? Late show hosts are not writers either. All right? That's why they have teams. So does she have a team?
Wow.
Because it doesn't sound like it.
Are late night writers mangakas?
I hope not.
I fucking hope not.
They might have the same skill level, but
No,
I think that
it takes full teams, right?
yeah, it's taken a full team. She's been given a whole late night slot, and she works for NBC, I believe. I'm pretty sure, and so that's like I'm guessing they gave her a team, but the team is playing into what she wants to say and what they think the audience wants to hear.
Which they don't. Yeah.
Which they don't, because like maybe the audience that's there that they pay to be there, right? Because they established that the late night shows, like they pay their audiences to be there, at least a lot of them. And so, like, but the people at home, oh my god, if you check the like to dislike ratios, like they're painful. It's a wake up call. They've gotten better because she's been.
Right.
I mean, that was just the first week, but I'm curious to see if this will be here to stay. And to what extent this will develop.
I'll be honest, late night shows are kind of a white people thing. I don't think black people watch it, so her gimmick doesn't work.
Yeah, that was another thing. Like, I didn't know how to word it, but I guess that's it. That's a fair point. Like, the only people that I've ever known that watch late night recently, and the only ones that laugh at them are white people. And you could argue that, oh, it's the white men that are making the same jokes for suburban white people. And I don't completely disagree, because a lot of the jokes are very tame. A lot of the jokes are very standardly written. Like, they appeal to that mass. And I don't like to say that, but I understand why it appeals to that crowd. And that's why I think Lilly Singh, it's ambitious what she's doing, but she's very out of place. She is a fish out of water in that industry.
Yeah.
You guys reminded me of something. I'm not sure if it's embarrassing or bad or just funny. See me, I was sitting with my girlfriend, right? And we were like bonding over dumb fucking what interests we like and shit. And she opened up this to write dumb poetry when I was in high school. and she starts reading and shit, and that's cool now. Then she was like, I like. She wanted to show me the poetry book that she read and liked. It's like the only one she read in English because she's Chinese. So she goes online, she opens it up, and I read the title, "The Sun and Her Flowers." Do you know what that book is?
No.
Why does that book sound familiar?
Yeah, it rings a bell.
Because it doesn't have an expiration date.
That can't be real. That can't be. Hold on. That can't be real.
I actually, when I saw the best moments of part 1 to part 10, because I saw the clip again and I read the title of the book and I was like, wait, that's the same one.
No. 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 No, no, no! No!
Okay.
What are the odds, though?
Oh, we got. I'm mind fucked right now. Ooh.
She claimed that most of the things in it aren't good. She liked a few things, but I don't know which ones.
Opinion on that particular expiration date.
Of you guys, and I think you guys are missing out because the expiration date one, I think that's a medium. That's a medium on the scale.
Look, I wouldn't put it past me to read it just because I love torturing myself.
I mean,
But I've read modern poetry books, and if they're anything like, or if this one is anything like the, it'll be a long night.
you don't know. It reaches a point where you don't know whether you should laugh at the stupidity or cry because of it.
No, there comes a point where I don't know if it was a good idea to waste $7 on something, because that's how much like the book costs, I assume, or right? Like most poetry books are in that range of like $7 to $13. So am I willing to spend somewhere in the medium there? That is the
Just
question
remember-
that I could buy like 2 McDonald's meals with.
It's not.
But okay. Think about it this way, right? If you buy the McDonald's meals and you just leave them outside for a couple weeks, what will happen? I mean, you have to play to the selling points.
Good point. You know, although with McDonald's, it's really not even a week. It's overnight, and you're already left with. Have you ever put a shake? Have you ever not finished a McDonald's shake? It turns into mucus overnight. Even if you put it in the fridge.
No, this is all disgusting. Modern poetry is like mucus milkshake from McDonald's. It's accurate. I can't say anything.
No cap. What am I saying here that's false? What?
Hold on. One second.
Wow.
1 second. Hassan, you've been asking weird questions. I don't know how to answer them, nor do I think they're relevant. So why are you asking them?
Now look. I'll answer the race war one because that one keeps getting brought up, not by him, but by the media and the intersectional dark web. I don't think is a race war inevitable. I think a race war has been already going on between the idiots who take that type of stuff seriously, and I think it's a Cold War equivalent. I don't think it's an out-front race war because, like most things in this world, most people just don't care. So if you're asking me if it's inevitable on a grand scale, no. if you're asking me if it's possible to have a civil war between Republicans and Democrats in this country, I think that's a lot more likely. But as far as a race war is concerned, I think that people just see and hear what they want to see and hear, and most people don't care about race in 2019. And if they do, they make sure not to make it a public outcry.
You know, if a race war ever happens, it's not for the advantage of the other races, because the white people have the numbers. I don't think it's in their.
Yeah, but you know how many
advantage.
guilty white people would go to the. I'm just assuming you're thinking blacks versus whites. You know, do you know how many guilty white knights would
No, I'm not thinking.
go over to the black side?
No, I'm not thinking blacks versus white. I'm thinking about white versus everybody. The whites still take that. I'll put my money on that.
But I'm saying there's still going to be a lot of white people that go and fight for the minorities, for the other side,
Yes,
right?
they will.
They are the oppressed.
Yes, they will, which means it will be easy to infiltrate. Spies will be very easy to. You get what I'm saying, right? It's.
We're thinking this through. This is realistically, no offense, Hassan. This is a dumb question.
Yes.
Not because like the context of the question's dumb, but actually yes, because the context of the question is dumb. I just don't see it happening, right? Like in 2019, people are talking about impeachment and civil war. Like, is a race war coming? No, I just don't think it's on people's plate. I don't think people see race like that. I think people have a problem with race individually.
Yeah,
but I don't think
no
it's
longer
to the point where
issue,
like I don't think anybody would ever wage war, right? People have their stereotypes. People get angry over their stereotypes. I don't think anybody would ever say, "I'm gonna go shoot somebody because he's black" in 2019. Any sane person.
Yeah.
That wouldn't happen usually, but if you watch the Joker movie, it would.
No, the Joker kills everybody, right? That's his shtick.
I actually think an incel versus, I mean, they'll get stomped on. Oh my god. An incel versus everybody war is more likely. Race at this point is too much of a touchy subject, but it's also a very protected issue in this country. I feel like it would, like if a war were to sprout or to be on the verge of doing so, it would get stopped before it could even begin.
Yeah, it's not that important, and nobody cares that much. You know, the people going on the streets, you know, a lot of them are just being paid to do it. Let's not kid ourselves. You know, no way Antifa is causing chaos without some funding to back them up and support them. There's somebody pulling in money, there's somebody doing something to cause annoyance. There's somebody trying to pretend like the Trump era was bad. The 4 years Trump was the worst in U.S. history or something. You know, it's the worst since the Great Depression. And everybody looks around, is like, looks fine to me. But then they have to rile them up, so they, oh, Black Lives Matter. Oh, no, all lives matter. Fuck you. And
wait, you can't just go after that. Who are you kissing? What are you kissing?
yes, it's. You know, if you want real anarchy...
Who's to my side on the stream?
What?
Who's to this side on the stream? Trillion?
What? I don't get it.
Who's
Oh,
on
that's
the side on the stream?
I see. No. You're on a side. Trillion's in the middle. We're on both sides of him. So you're not kissing anyone right now. When you did that, you see what he's trying to do?
Okay.
Like if his screen was in the middle and he went to kiss one side, he'd be kissing one of us. Do you get it?
No. As far as the stream is concerned, I'm always on the right. Louis in the middle usually, and whoever else is on the left. That's how it usually goes.
Oh, I see. See, on my screen, you're in the middle, Trillion, and he's on the far. Like he's on the other side.
I think
On my
you're
screen,
always on
I'm
the left.
top. You guys on the bottom.
Yeah, you're on your phone. That's why. No. If you want real anarchy, you go to Hong Kong right now. Hong Kong is in a civil war against its own people.
They shot another kid, didn't they?
shot a kid. They
The
shot everybody.
police?
They're arresting people randomly. Apparently, according to my sources, 3 million are in riot there. And
According to Tim Pool.
no, not Tim Pool. I know a guy in Hong Kong, and he keeps bitching about the situation. He's like, they're arresting elders who are just sitting there, and they're just doing it like they have a mandatory curfew that nobody abides by. People are attacking cop cars just randomly. It's anarchy. Just
Damn, that source sounds like he has a lot of information. He probably talked for hours about it.
Bring him to the salt grinder.
Yeah, maybe bring him to the salt grinder.
Him talking
I mean,
about it will definitely not get him in jail.
yeah, evidently in the Chinese world, if you say anything, you get low social credits, or you don't. Like,
This evidence a little bit more involved. You can like and approve people for social interactions and.
no, it's like we have to speak in code if we want to talk about politics. Because, according to our source, they wiretapped everything. They wiretapped my shoe.
I'll give him that. The Great Firewall is a pretty nice work of software engineering. Even though I don't think it affects Hong Kong, does it?
It does, because they're under the Chinese
does?
sphere. For the longest time, China has been building its networks. They still have access to the big internet. They're not as in control of Hong Kong as they are in China, but they're trying. They're trying so bloody hard to assimilate Hong Kong into China. But they're not doing well. The second they tried something big, Hong Kong went into full riot mode, and they had to pull it out, and people are still angry. So it's chaos, and no, the U.S. will never turn to that state because, as much as the Chinese are like Asian, they still have way more better ideas of liberty and freedom than the U.S. public ever had, and while the U.S. clings to their ideas of liberty, that's their national agenda, that's not the agenda of the regular person. The regular person at this point just wants to chill the fuck out. So
Lay back, smoke some weed. Yep.
There's a reason they call the World
know-
War II generation the greatest generation, right? Because they know we're done. Our era of fame is over.
The classics.
But hey, we can not go to school and go stand in front of some government building and tell them how much nature is being hurt.
Listen,
That will save us.
you took everything from me. You took my life, my toenails, you took my plastic dolls.
Oh, is that
We
the
are-
girl from?
We are
like
gonna die in 3 seconds. How dare you? Sorry, let me do the accent. How dare you?
I should be studying right now.
I should be
But I'm here
streaming
to-
on Twitch. I should be a boob streamer. How dare you?
For fuck's sake, that video fucking pissed me off, man.
It irritates me because that she's it's gotten to the point now where people are outright using children as political props. There's no shame about it anymore.
And it
No,
works.
they always used
I've
it, but never
seen
to
this
that extent. Yeah?
One guy critiqued it and said the same thing, that she's being used, and it's told that she has Asperger's and
Yeah, she has some mental issues.
mental
yeah.
health issues.
Yep.
Yeah, and her family or whoever's behind her is using her for any political agenda or whatever. Some guy critiqued it, and people just lashed out on him.
Yeah, of course.
By the
Oh, Michael Knowles, where he went on Fox News and said that she was
Yes.
a very depressed child, and people got upset because he said exactly what she said. That's how she starts the speech, right? She says that I'm a very depressed individual. I have this, I have that, I have mental issues. She says that.
So when this shit works, what can you do?
It doesn't
Like
work.
it's just gonna keep happening.
It doesn't work. Dude, it works as much as jacking off for males is considered sex, okay?
All right, your analogies are getting better here, Trillion. I'm glad. You probably had that one locked up for a while.
That
I'm
was
glad
a
you
six.
found a place.
It's
That
true
was a
though.
6. I give you that.
Dude, it was a bunch of people wanking each other. And the other side, the other side.
Isn't
of
that the
spectrum-
entire SGW movement?
Yes, that's why it doesn't work because regular people who can't relate just look at it and just feel icky. Ugh, wait, ugh, why? Nobody feels guilty. Everybody I know laughed their asses off. They're like, what the fuck? This was at the UN? UN stooped that low? That was our reaction. Nobody sat there and felt like, oh no, I should change. My life has been a lie. Nobody. Nobody. Except the people who agreed and already are doing things to fix it. They're like, so brave. What? So brave. Dude, she's depressed. There's no bravery there. There's just pain. You're showing me a person in pain and pretending like she's making a point. You probably
Dude,
gave her
my-
a speech. A PR firm
That's-
probably did that.
That's my question.
Of
Is
course,
like, who
I
got her
have
to the
zero doubt
UN?
that She didn't write it. She didn't write the speech.
Of course she did.
Has that already been proven? Or-
No, but there are applause breaks. Of course she didn't write
Like,
the speech.
I definitely believe that she didn't write it, but that's my biggest question is like, how did she end up at the UN? And we know she's a ploy, and we know this has been plotted out because she had a bigger rise in followers than like Kylie Jenner overnight. She doesn't have as many followers as like her spike, according to Instagram stats, were even larger than Kylie Jenner's. Like, how does that happen to a person you don't even know
Yeah,
overnight?
yeah, I think it was just...
You want to talk about man?
Dude, this
Russian
entire
riots.
thing is fucking ridiculous. It's as ridiculous as Joker reviews and fucking Dellar being banned. It's all on the same spectrum of idiocy. Idiocy is a spectrum, okay? Not gender. And all
No,
the-
it's not. It's a ladder.
Lou, you piece of shit.
I had to say that because there was a friend of mine who made that analogy, and it just did not work. So I was waiting for the right time to have it.
I was gonna make a very accurate assessment how gender is a spectrum is actually them trying to define idiocy as a spectrum. But you win, Louis. That statement says my point. There's nothing else.
It's like it's wrong, but it's right at the same time.
Yeah, it's like, okay, this is correct. I can't say anything. Ladder, you can go up, you can go down. It makes sense.
Yeah. It's just the meme now because of that show.
That's
I want to know the reference.
Game of Thrones, Chaos is a Ladder.
The show which shall not be named
Yes.
anymore.
They ruined it. Do you know I can't rewatch the show anymore? Like,
Because you know where it's going. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's rough.
like I want to appreciate like seasons 1 through 4 were amazing. I want to re-experience that. But every time I see the actors, I remember their what happened. I'm like, oh no, I can't watch this anymore.
Yeah, it's
It had, like,
what are they doing now? Are they still doing Star Wars?
Yeah, probably.
Oh no.
I'm waiting anxiously to see just how much the next will flop. It has to be God tier.
And I'm more excited for that premiere now because it's been confirmed that George Lucas is unhappy with the series and that he was betrayed. That Disney did not do what they told him he was gonna do or what they were gonna do. So
The next Star Wars will have an all-female cast,
Yeah, that always
except
works.
one black gay guy.
Oh, dude. Speaking of all female casts, I looked up a video. It was an Arabic video reviewing Arabic games, and the video title was called "Finding the Best Arabic Video Game." Right? Spoiler alert: they're so trash that you really start thinking about the state of our creativity here in the Arab world. Regardless, there was one game, a visual novel.
Oh boy, not this again.
With one chapter, okay, made by an all-female cast. That was its gimmick, okay, and it was reviewed in front of me. It's 30 minutes long. The fonts are fucked. There is no story consistency. And the ending is basically, the story is, we're trying to find a cure. And the ending, their dad calls and it's like, by the way, we found a doctor. And the story ends. That's your all-female cast.
By the way, found doctor.
Okay.
I swear. I swear. It's, who thought making an all-thing cast is a good idea?
No,
Did we learn
that's not
anything
the
from
problem.
Black fucking Panther.
No, that's not the problem. The problem is when a bunch of people who are not qualified to do something,
Yep, do something.
but just because they fit a criteria decide to do it, and then end up making a fool of themselves.
Yeah,
Like, it's not a matter, like, there can be an all-female cast that is very good at acting, writing, directing, anything, right? But what I guarantee what happened in this situation is, like, five women decided, we're going to make a visual novel. And our selling point is all five of us are going to do it. Well, have any of you ever written anything before? Nope, but how hard can it be? And then they all go and they do it, and it's their first draft, and it becomes a laughing stock.
and they realize that making video games is 1,000 times harder than anybody thought. That's what they start realizing.
Which
I mean,
is-
are visual novels
yeah.
video games?
Dude, even coding visual novels that are actually intriguing is way harder than you think. You think it's easy, right? But then artwork, when does the fucking sound happen? If you make a click, what type of click do you use? What font do you use? Does the speech fit the small place? Does the environment match the characters that are jumping out? What expression do you choose the characters for? And you have to code every single one of these. Even a visual novel is hard to do.
That's why I have mixed reactions when people complain about games, and like I understand if they're not finished, and they're clearly not finished, like Fallout 76 status.
Yeah.
Then you take that back. You should.
What are you talking about? That game was a massive success. And we thank the fan base for supporting us.
No.
Didn't they hand out helmets that were like a biohazard or something?
They handed
They were
out
like
bags that
moldy?
were made of nylon.
Dude, making video games is among the hardest things ever. Okay.
Which is why I that's how I react to people. It's like when people complain, oh, there's not enough updates. Oh, listen.
Yeah.
Their team is probably not big enough to handle this. They probably don't sleep much, and on top of that,
They don't get
they have a
paid
community
enough.
page on Reddit. They don't get paid enough, and on top of that, they have a community page on Reddit where people just bitch at them all day long, and they have to respond with a smile.
And most importantly, like people on the internet, and most of them are gamers, they have a sense of entitlement because they put money on the table. And you're like, do you remember this, like, the rise of video games back in the 2000s when you pay for a game and there are no updates, so you play it and whatever bugs there are stay, no matter what. Do you remember that era? Nobody complained during that era. And if they did, they gave actual criticism because, it wasn't a big thing. These days, people will play a free-to-play game like Apex, okay, and bitch about it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's for free, you fucking cunt. Stop talking.
Excuse me, I paid 69 cents on that one helmet. That's blue.
Yeah, that's...
I own the entire company now.
I own stock.
It's unwarranted, it's dumb, it's ridiculous, and people should feel bad, but they won't. And Hey, at least they're not feminazis. No, they got that going for them. They're one step above the
Feminazis aren't games. Aren't
That
video
needs to
games.
be put on a shirt one day.
feminazis aren't games. Well,
No. Women are. Oh, that one or women are.
yeah, women are not video games. That one is brilliant.
Because it's another one of those ladder comments. Like it doesn't make sense, but somehow makes sense. Like you know what it's saying, right? Like it's perfect.
It is perfect. And on that note, I think we should be wrapping up the stream, and we will call this
The perfect stream.
Yes, we'll call it technical difficulties with a Q, because I don't know why. What?
All right.
Okay, is it time for the shoutouts? That's like my favorite time.
Oh yeah,
That is the best time.
Okay, do shoutouts by all means.
Okay, no, number one, I'm gonna shout out the woman who she did yeah, and
Okay. Oh, all right.
yeah, this is gonna bite you in the ass one day.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Is it my turn now?
Shout out to every woman out there for not being a video game.
Give it to me.
Shout out to your vape pen.
Oh, it's tremendous. It's gonna get banned soon, but who cares? I have it now.
Enjoy things in the moment. Yes.
Yep. Okay, I guess you're done. I don't know.
Fuck you. You ruined my train of thoughts.
I'm
I was
gonna.
gonna-
I have
I had a
a
speech
shout
ready.
out.
Okay, go ahead.
I have a shout out for the Discord servers. They're beautiful. They don't screw up in any way, shape, or form ever. This is a perfect platform. Please don't demonetize me. Please don't boot me off the platform. Women are also not video games. I will second that. Because I agree. Because I'm an ally. So now I'm done.
Before I do shoutouts, Hassan, you get MVC because you're the only one who actually talked. So, congratulations, fourth time. But I guess it was so laggy that nobody kept up. That's what I assume. But in any case, this show has not been sponsored by Audible. Audible.com is the leading provider of spoken audio entertainment. If you want to get your free audiobook now, go to audible.com / fuck yourself, and you will receive a free audiobook and 2 Audible originals. Thank you, Audible, for sponsoring this show. Our recommendation, as usual, is The Gender Spectrum by Elijah Phil.
No. What's the book with the expiration date? What's the name of it?
The sun and her flowers.
Our recommendation.
Yeah, that. If you go to Audible with our promo code, you get that book for free. Expiration date on the code, by the way.
Yes, you can use it anytime, all time. On that note, with that lag,
Yeah.
let's
On that note,
yeah, let's just go before we lag out one more time. Let's see you guys.
see y'all next time.
Shout out to making sandwiches.